Welcome to Cooking Consciousness. I am Kinneret, and here we blend the art of science of living with insights of the Show Me Tao Way method. This podcast steers together wisdom from the various traditions, including Adlerian theory and ancient practices, to explore the deepest layers of our consciousness. Join me as we uncover the ingredients of a mindful life, blending ancient wisdom with a modern insight. So let's cook up some consciousness together. Let's begin. Hi, welcome to the Conscious Kitchen. I am Kinneret. And I'm a therapist. I'm here to create this podcast. And the reason for this podcast is to allow myself to give you some tools, mindfulness tools, especially now in this lifetime, because it's not easy. It's not easy to be a human being at a moment. Doesn't matter where you are and doesn't matter who you are. It's not easy to be a human being. And as Israeli who live in Canada, Toronto, I decided since October 7 last year to take myself off the media immediately, and I found myself spending a lot of time in my room with the mic and this computer and podcasting. I decided to focus on wider circles and to really talk about just being a human being, not about political, not about who is right, who is wrong. Not about that at all. Just to bring my tools from my experience. So this is an opportunity for me to bring my knowledge, to bring my experience as a therapist, also as an owner of SMTW Academy, Show Me Tao Way. Show Me Tao Way is a method that I've been developed with a colleague of mine. Her name is Ilana Stein-Natali. In general, the collective mind right now is stuck in this survival mode, in this like fight, flight, freeze mode. And I can tell my stories. I will share here my stories from my clinic so you will understand how strong is this method and what an impact it brought to so many people. So I decided to bring it also here to this space and to practice with you the steps of the game based on this method. So that's why I'm here. First, conscious ingredients. Your pain is the hint of your purpose. Reflect on your biggest challenges that brought pain and the strategies you used to overcome them. Yes, our biggest challenge, pain in our life, this is where our purpose is hidden. And I will share my story so you will understand better what I'm talking about. You see, this method of Show Me Tao Way is all about balance, all about balancing two sides. If you know this like symbol of the yin yang, so in the yin yang, you can see like two colors, black, white, that they have kind of like a shape of a wave, that on each wave you have like a dot of it of the opposite color, and together they are integrated into a shape that's called yin yang. So you know, as I said, our biggest pain is hidden in our purpose. And I did not know that my purpose will be to take, two sides, two forces, and to teach myself first and then others how to work with two sides, how to balance them, how to create some kind of a dance in between them, how to create love in the space between them, how to work with two forces. And when I say two forces, that means sometimes it seems like those two forces are extensional forces, but it's not necessarily true. It's all start within ourselves. And you know, now I know that my purpose is to connect ourself, to connect the self, to connect the inner child with the higher self within ourselves. This is our deepest relationship that we can create within ourselves, and that way it creates peace. The same way, when we live in peace and when we know how to integrate those two sides inside us, we can communicate better with our parents, with our partners, with our children, with the surrounding. That was my challenge. My challenge was to connect my inner child, to connect my myself to myself. And nature has duality all the time, dualities in every single force. If you think about nature, if you think about male, female, and the duality, black, white, summer, winter, fall, spring, the the paradox, the paradox of life, earth and spirituality, body and soul. It's kind of like two forces that they supposed to contradict each other, but only when we know how to integrate them, that's when we know what peace is. And it's been a journey for me. It's been a journey, a big journey. A big journey of lots of challenges to understand that I couldn't connect to myself. I didn't even know that I am not connected. That there is some kind of like a block, a wall between me and myself. And it started since I was born. And it's funny because I don't remember, but the stories that you hear, those stories, it's, stories of someone else, your parents, whoever told you that story. But it's a story, it's a memory. And although it doesn't belong to the here and the now, it's kind of like managing all kinds of paradigms, assumptions, limiting beliefs about ourselves. And the first story, when I was born, my grandfather, on my father's side, as I said, Hungarian people, they're Jewish, from a very conservative region, heard that I'm a female and I am the first grandchild that he got, and first in general, both sides, and he didn't like it. He hanged up the phone call when my father just announced that I was born. Rejection. And the second story that I used to hear from my mother all the time was my brother. My brother was born the same date, the same Hebrew date, the same date as mine, a year apart. He started to walk when he was 10 months, and you and him started to walk together. You were like 1 year and 10, and you were jealous. So you used to push him, which, and bad girl. And then another story is that my brother was gifted, and he skipped grade 1 straight to grade 2, where I was. So not only I felt rejected, not only I accumulated already the titles of witch and bad girl, and the jealousy energy in the air. He was in my grade all my life. And it affected on me because I took the side of the rebel child. I was quite popular. So for me, the outside world was very impactful and strong, and that was my home. But at home, I felt like I'm in the war. And the stories are just the beginning, because later on, it's been very, very challenging with my father. My relationship with my father became very difficult. I'm not going to get into details, but I felt like I needed to fight all the time in my home. It was very confusing because on one hand, as I said, my father loved to cook, and our Friday dinner was like kind of like a feast, and it was an open house where all the friends used to come over to my home because it was very welcoming. But at the same time, the vibe was so confusing. Later on in my life, when I grew up, I decided not to have children. I felt like children are a mess. And it's been kind of like enjoying the fact that I'm a free spirit until I got into my 30th. I came back from New York after 4 years that we studied there, back to Israel. And all my friends started to have tummy, 1 child, 2 children. And I started to feel that I'm changing my mind. But this journey just started to show me that the blockages that I accumulated through my childhood are starting to show and bring evidence that I'm stuck. And it's been 10 years that I was trying to get pregnant with no success. And it's been 17 IVF with full anesthesia every time, with 0 pregnancies. Actually, I had one, but I needed to make an abortion because it did not develop well. And lucky me that when I almost gave up, Eden, my son, my gift that I received from God, arrived. And for me, it was such a relief that I have Eden. He arrived, we adopted Eden. He was 2 months when we got him. And for me, it was a piece of heaven. That's the reason we called him Eden. Eden today is 13 years old, and because of Eden, I became a mom. I can feel that Eden really completed a big piece in the missing puzzle that I was looking through these 10 years. I was affected by the surrounding, and all the voices, the social workers, friends, families, especially in Israel, which family is very high value and it's not enough one. Pushed to bring another one. And as I said, I did not listen to myself at all. I didn't know who I am anymore. It's been a lot of stimulations, a lot of voices and noises, and a lot of chaos from the outside world, which was my forte when I was teenage. But another thing that I've found is that our strength, if we don't know where to stop, are becoming very, very quickly our weaknesses. And I will say it many times in this podcast. So we need to learn where to stop. And I did not know where to stop, where to put the red line to this chaos, to these voices from the outside sources. And I kept trying. I kept trying to bring children, siblings to Eden. It wasn't enough. And it wasn't enough also to look what I got. I didn't even appreciate it. It was like V. Only now I can tell, when I look back, how sometimes when we are targeted into kind of a goal and we don't listen, we're becoming blind, and then the war is coming, the fight, flight. And yeah. I was trying a few times, with no success. Then we were trying to adopt another child with no success. And the third adoption trial, was very painful because we already got a child. I was in the delivery room. I cut the umbilical cord. It's been 5 days that I was with Ellie, the child that I called her, the baby. I was feeding her. But after 5 days, the family that decided to adopt found a solution in the family circle. And for me, it was just the beginning of the end of a chapter that I felt that I'm very, very lost, very stuck, and in a deep chaos. What was interesting and very weird that on the same week that the event with Ellie occurred, that was the week that Ilana and I printed the first edition of this method, this game, Show Me Tao Way. And for me, it was kind of like the hint to understand that there is something there that I need to start practice, because obviously I'm stuck. It's not only my body, it's also the adoption processes that are not working. And obviously what we have created is, its purpose is to unravel stagnation, is to really move the energy and to practice it. So I started to practice on a daily basis the Show Me Tao Way method. And also in my clinic on that time, I had a case that I felt very, very stuck in this case as well. It was a mother, and she came with a case that her teenage child, girl, didn't even want to come to the sessions. And it was like she was on the edge of, really, she was threatening on committed suicide, and the mother was very, very worried. And we were in session number 8. I was on that time a Adlerian coach, and I decided to take Show Me also to this specific case and try to move the energy and to practice with her. And back then I did it with like stages as I do it today. I was very lucky that this specific line was very sharp, and she got it very quickly. And the effect was very overwhelming in a good way, because when it's been session number 11, I remember that she's coming with a photo of her and her daughter, and something was shifted. And something was shifted. Now I know, and today I know, because she has shifted. She started to speak from a totally different perspective about the case, about the situation. And she approached with a letter to her daughter, and that's what, like a letter that says everything from her heart, and that what brought them together. The mother was opening her heart, and she was very, very vulnerable and honest. with herself to take some kind of responsibility on how she couldn't see things. So what I'm saying is that Show Me is a very strong tool. Show Me showed me the way. And everyone has a different Tao. Everyone has a different way. And what I love in Show Me is that it it allows you through this process to find your own wisdom, to find your own intuition, to find your own way, how to navigate, how to balance, how to center yourself when the world is in chaos, how to put the right boundaries, how to express yourself from within, how to connect the heart and the mind, how to integrate the yin and the yang, the inner child and the higher self. So this chapter was an introduction. On each chapter, as I promised, I will add a meditation that the meditation will be some kind of like a glimpse of the steps of the game. And obviously, if you want to practice the first step of the game fully, I will attach here a link with instructions in my website. And you're more than welcome also to contact me personal. That's the first ingredient. As you can see, my pain was I disconnected myself from myself. I disconnected myself from my body. I disconnected myself from my inside intuition and wisdom. And all the stimulation from the outside world was like forcing me to navigate with a lot of turmoil, with a lot of challenges. And I couldn't know where to stop. Today, I'm more than happy to say that it's been kind of like a process. It was a deep stack. It was a deep layer, like deep layers. In my situation, it was like deep layers. So I needed to peel a lot of layers and to process a lot of layers. But today I can tell that my purpose is to connect the inner child with the higher self, the two sides, and to really teach people how to create inner peace, how to create some kind of a dance between themselves and, the places that they don't know where to stop or how to listen. And as for my family, after this after 2017, when what happened, I was trying to get pregnant also from egg donation, and I almost succeeded. But you know what was my biggest breakthrough? Is to say that I decided to put a red line to pain, and I decided to live in peace with my family, with my boutique family, I call it, which gives me so much love and peace. And I'm very, very grateful that one of my lessons was to learn where to put the red line, where to put the boundary to pain, where to put the boundary to the chaos, where to say no, and to really allow myself to live in peace with what I already have and to feel satisfied inside my heart with who I am. I hope you enjoyed the chapter. I hope you got something from it. I also hope whoever is here listening and getting connected to this content will bring more light to this world. We need that. We all one. So let's be peace. Bye for now.